Hi everyone. This video gives a very practical and pragmatic overview of our mutual aid group and answers three key questions. The first is, why do we need mutual aid in German studies? The second is, how did we form our group and how does it work? And the third is, how can you be involved? So the first question, why does German studies need mutual aid? We have a video on mutual aid in academia that explains mutual aid in depth and gives an excellent overview of what mutual aid is, what it isn't, how it can be used to build community and solidarity within those communities, and why it's desperately needed in academia. All of that applies to the context of German studies as well. And mutuality, mutual relations are key here. Mutuality is a key word of mutual aid. So it's important to understand our position within German studies in particular and ask, what can people within our field offer and what support is needed from people within our field. Mutual aid is a way to build solidarity and acknowledge the mutual interdependence between people in our field, and also acknowledge that our positions and our positionalities aren't fixed and that they too are in flux. And that means that different needs for support will arise at different times and that people will be able to respond to those needs in different ways and at different times. We built our mutual aid infrastructure so that it can respond to the immediate needs of our colleagues and so that we can work toward creating sustainable and equitable working conditions in and around German studies. As a mutual relationship, community members supply assistance and resources to each other and are empowered to ask for help when needed. This is another key element of mutual aid, that we can destigmatize asking for help. The second question, why did we form our group? How did we form our group? How do we work? So our mutual aid working group initially formed after the DDGC town hall meeting on the labor crisis in our field that took place in late 2020. From that town hall meeting, there were several working groups that emerged, and the mutual aid was one of them. We had several initial meetings to work through some theoretical information and political stances on mutual aid in general and what our group hopes to accomplish. It was really crucial for our collective to build a shared understanding of mutual aid together so that the work we did after those initial meetings was always coming from the same background place. We looked at many examples of other mutual aid groups, other types of mutual aid, and many of these are place-based or local mutual aid groups where there are really clear boundaries of who's included in the mutual relations. So this could be from a city's mutual aid group, a community, even a building's mutual aid group. And we had to kind of figure out, okay, well, how do we take something that has clear geographic boundaries and apply that to our field of German studies? And these are questions that we continue to discuss in our group. We also read Dean Spade's book called Mutual Aid, Building Solidarity During This Crisis and the Next. And this was extremely instrumental in thinking through how mutual aid might restructure relations in our network, as well as developing an organizational structure for our group in a non-hierarchical manner. We also conducted an initial survey to determine the needs and resources of people in and around German studies. And Derek Price, who's a former member of our group, compiled the results of a survey in a blog post from June 2021. So he made a nice visualization of all of the data we got from that. Our mutual aid group has established these organizing principles. And since then, we've been working actively to respond to any requests that might come in through the request form that you can link to, or that is linked to on DDGC's website. So now the nitty-gritty practical part. How does it work? How does our mutual aid group help foster change in our field and help to address the immediate needs of people in and around German studies? I'm going to give this overview, and we also hope that by providing these details of how we work as a group, it can be an outline for any other person to start a mutual aid group on their campus or in their town, in their neighborhood, in their building, whatever. So we hope that this organizational structure can spark further mutual aid organizations and further collectives. Our mutual aid group is made up of anywhere from 6 to 8 members, depending on the time of the year. And each member shares equal responsibility and power. We don't have a chairperson of the group. There's no treasurer, there's no secretary, there's none of that. Instead, all of the duties are dispersed equally and equitably among the group members. Since we formed our group in December 2020, we've held monthly virtual meetings. And when we're not in the meetings discussing our group, our projects, and next steps, we communicate via Slack, sharing lots of updates and ideas and working together on different projects. When we schedule each meeting, we rotate who hosts it, who facilitates it, who takes notes, and so on. So we really do have this non-hierarchical, flat structure in the group that works really well. Our regular meeting schedule has allowed our group to respond to the needs of colleagues in the near German studies, and it's also served as a place to make meaningful connections within our mutual aid group. And I want to underscore that all of our work has been done entirely virtually. So even though there are many downsides that come with virtual interactions and maybe a little too much screen time. We've been working together since late 2020, almost 2 years now, and it's really been empowering to form a collective like this virtually. And it also allows for more people to get involved. You know, we're not limited to a certain space, no one needs to travel. So that's another thing perhaps other organizations could copy. Finally, the last question, how can you get involved? You can learn about mutual aid from the other videos we post and from the many blog posts that mutual aid group members have posted on the DDGC blog. When you visit the DDGC website, you can also sign up to be included in the mutual aid offers pool. This means that you indicate what resources you're able to offer, and you give us your email address. So when we get a request for support, we will see, okay, who can match that request, and then we'll send out an email to the people who offer that. Another way to get involved is to make a request for mutual aid. It's really important in establishing the solidarity and community talked about earlier that we ask for help when it's needed. And it can be anything. It can be help with teaching, help with research, help with proofreading, help with building new organizations. It can be financial help. Truly anything, we will work together to respond to that request. We also always handle requests for help anonymously until the point where people need to get in contact. If there's, going to be some teaching help or proofreading, you will have to be in contact with the people who offer support. You can also donate to our periodic fundraising campaigns that we do via PayPal. You could even sign up to have a recurring donation to the mutual aid fund, and then that helps to respond to monetary requests as they come up. You can also join our mutual aid group. You can reach out to any of the team members and we'll tell you more information and help you get involved. You can also consider forming collectives in your own community, and hopefully this video gives you some ideas of how you could do that. Finally, you can look at other mutual aid blog posts, including the mutual aid log on the DDGC blog, to see the type of support that we've been able to provide in the first year of working as a mutual aid group. So hopefully we'll see you either in our email or one of our forums soon. Thanks for watching.